Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and thank you for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video entitled Tips. And as I think of things that I think might be helpful to the young, aspiring artists, I post a video because it's important to pass on knowledge. I always say this, that I thank God that I grew up in the era that I did for the political times, the social times, the financial times. The 70s and the 80s and the late 60s was just quite very monumental to me. So, us old timers, because I guess I'm a part of that club now, we are dedicated to trying to teach the young guys because when we were younger, the older guys taught us, so, that's really why I decided to put together this channel, to kind of educate some young folks that are in seek of knowledge. And I guess the first tip is, regarding music is this, is it's really important as far as if you're trying to tab songs, because that's why I'm able to do them so quickly. Focus in on the bass notes, because like I said in my other video, some people thought it was maybe over the top. Learn how to play bass too. If you're already doing 6 strings, you can do 4 strings easy because once you learn kind of, the theory behind music as far as chords and stuff of that nature, and you can transfer it over to another instrument because most professional musicians play at least 2 instruments, if not more. I play like 4. So, it's just a matter of not transferring over the dexterity, because playing piano is totally different from playing guitar. Playing guitar is totally different from playing drums, but you can do it if you decide if this is what you want to do, because this is why it's important to pick up bass. Because, again, the guitar player relies on the bass player very heavily. And most people don't realize that because the root note of the bass note will determine for the guitar player or the keyboard player what chords to be played. And all you do is just audition these 5 chords around that note. So again, if the bass player root note is G, you audition the G major chord, G minor 7, G major 7, G suspended 4th, G7. In most cases, it's one of those 5. There are some chords, like a G diminished chord. You can definitely tell that once you start to play for a long period of time, that that's not a part of those other ones I mentioned. And I say, it's good to be, pick up bass, but some people are like, I really don't want to buy a bass. Real simple. Play the bass line on your guitar. Real simple. You don't have to go out and buy a bass. And you really don't have to go out and try to learn bass. Just play the bass notes on your guitar. Because that's how I do when I sit down and tab a song. And I put my headphones on, I listen to the track, I'm listening to the bass note, I find it on my guitar, boom. Okay, let me audition those 5 chords I mentioned. And in most cases, it's one of those 5 chords. So it's not really difficult, providing that you know what you need to look for and what to do. Because that's usually the biggest problem with learning anything. Where do you start? What do you do first? So I recommend that you guitar players get more in tune with the bass notes, the bass lines, because when I was growing up, everybody wants to be like Prince. I want to play guitar, I want to play bass, drums, and we went out about bass, drums, and keyboards and drums and learn how to play those things, So when you become multi-instrumentalist, it's easier to write because you can write for the piano parts because you're a piano player yourself. You know how a piano player would play it. Your guitar player, you know how the guitar player would play it, so you write accordingly. Your bass player, so you know how the bass player would, parts would go, the drums, So it ain't an issue of being vain or, I can do all this. The more you do, the easier it becomes to do it, So that's one reason why, I'm able to do those things because, I'm in tune to each and every different instrument. And I guess something else I want to touch on is there's many things that I can teach you guys as far as the DVD lessons. I can teach you the chords. I can teach you or show you what type of guitar you want to get for the style you're playing. Not to go out there and get screwed enough with pay for a guitar and things of that nature. But there's just some things that no one can teach you. They can put you in the direction so you can work towards developing it. And here it is, as far as learning feel. No one can teach you feel. That comes from within. And each individual has a different feel. I can get 10 guitar players in here right now and have them play the same song. They're all going to play it differently. And something that old school Larry, old school funk said, You know, it's true. I agree with you, and I didn't think about this. Not only each guitar player is different in his feel, but also you can. I can bring in the guy. I can bring a guy in here right now, and I can play a song on this guitar and give it to him, and let him play that same song. It's gonna sound different, even though it's the same guitar. And that's because each one of us are totally different in our feel, you know, and being unique. You know, so that's something that we need to keep in mind that no one can teach you feel. You know, because I get messages sometime about what's the strumming pattern. I can't really. I mean, you know, traditional music they teach you up down up down up down, and it becomes confusing because when I was going through that period of learning like that, it was like I had to split my brain in half. One part of my brain had to focus on the notes, the other part had to focus on the little up and down arrows. It was just too much, and it's like let's eliminate that up down arrow thing and just let people play. Eventually, when the ear kicks in, they can hear it, they can feel it. You know, so that's why sometimes traditional way of learning becomes difficult because there's just some things that need to be omitted and say, hey, I'm gonna let you fly solo on this. I'm gonna let you do your thing, you know. And that's why, you know, I'm able to do what I do because I cut loose that traditional thing a long time ago because I looked around and said, you know what, this ain't working for me. And the majority of the people around me said, it ain't work for me neither. You know, so what are we gonna do? And the answer to that question is do your own thing, you know, develop your own style, develop your own feel. You know, because again, that's just something that nobody can teach you. The only thing they can tell you is just keep practicing. You know, put on that CD, put on that record, and just play along with the record. You know, because you learn a great deal by playing along. You know, things that you don't even realize you're learning, Because I think that's one reason why I got pretty decent feel because when I first started as a professional musician, it wasn't that I was a great rhythm guitar player or a lead player. The appeal for me or to me, I think, and people told me this was your drive. You know, you were hungry to learn and you were eager to go out there and work amongst people that are sometimes difficult to work with. You know, and you got a good right hand. And as you keep playing, it's going to get better. And it did, you know. So everybody's claim to fame is different because one reason why one of my childhood buddies, who's still one of my bass players in one of my bands to this day, he was my best man at my wedding. Uh, we complemented each other extremely well because we wanted to do two different things and we brought them together because he was the solo Prince dude. And I was like, I'm the Nile Rodgers rhythm dude. You know, so that worked well. When we wrote together, we could literally finish each other sentences. You know, one of the first songs that I wrote which was a legitimate song, and when we played it live, and he played bass, you know, the bass on that particular song, and I wrote, you know, all the parts. He added some stuff that I said, man, you know, that's cool. You know, I didn't think of that. You know, so we've always worked well together. And like I said in other videos, you hang around the people that inspire you and take you to another level, and you cut loose the people that are toxic and taking you down, you know, because there are many people out there, and again, like I said before, they don't realize it, and some of them do, that they're toxic to you, and they're not, you know, making your circle work, you know, so you have to identify with those people because I play with many people that after it was not a financial obligation, I was done, you know, because I'm like, we don't work well together. You know, I've actually had to do this on two different occasions when people come in for my writing production of services and they pay me. One person, individual, it got so bad that the chemistry was not there. That in the middle of the project, I just shut it down and said, "Here's your money back. I can't do this." And here was one reason why, and it had nothing to do with music because you know you're a person as well as a musician, and I got to feel the person as well as the musician in you to work with you. And one day she came over because she was in the gospel. And that was the first thing I'm like, I really don't do gospel, you know, but I heard your productions and I think you could do a good job. And I did. I was doing a good job, you know, in spite of that wasn't my background. So she came over with her foster kids and I seen how badly she treated them. She was swinging at them and screaming at them. And that's when I decided I can't work with you no more. You know, you're not a warm, kind person. You know, and people in my circle are warm, kind, caring, considerate people. So you don't fit that bill. So you know, we can't work together. You know, so those things are things that most of us don't think about, but it's important to acknowledge those things because when you're around a bunch of people that care about you, you feel good. You know, you play well, you interact with them well. And when you're around people that, you know, don't have your best interests and they're toxic, you don't play well, you're distracted, you're just not yourself. But I just thought I would put together this short video as far as just some tips, some things that, perhaps, you can think about and make you a better person, make you a better player. So until next time, as always, thank you guys for coming to my channel. Thanks for watching.